Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody today? I'm super excited to be here, hoping that I am not going to freeze in this conversation. Yes, I am very happy to be here today. So before I dive in to our conversation, hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. The background sound, yeah, I know. Anyway, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. For those of you who are just tuning in with me today, I am Reverend Dr. Joanne Angelberry Cologne. I am the founder of Holistic Fitness NY, and I'm also the founder of Blood Sisters Portal. Now, you might be wondering, what is Blood Sisters Portal? In fact, this is the very first day ever that I am literally sharing with you in person in real time the cover. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to slide over for a second just so you can see. There you have it. The cover of the June issue, 2026 June issue of Blood Sisters Portal. So let me share a little bit with you about what that is. And before I do, let me go into a more detailed approach of who I am for those of you who are just getting to know me for the first time. As mentioned, I am Reverend Dr. Joanne Angelberry Cologne, the founder of Holistic Fitness NY. I serve, help, and transform women over 40, helping them to release emotional weight as they, helping them to release emotional weight without dieting as they gain confidence and courage to step away from their 9 to 5 so they can fully embrace their soul's work. In addition to stepping away from their 9 to 5, it's also about walking away from outdated relationships, subconscious beliefs, and so much more. All that being said, how this beautiful magazine came about, if you've been following me on Facebook, my YouTube channel, you know that any day from now, I like to consider it as a pregnancy for us ladies. When we think about it, in midlife, in perimenopause, and even in menopause for that matter, just because our cycle ends doesn't necessarily mean that we are no longer conceiving, we are no longer creating. In fact, that's the total opposite when you think about it. We are creating and conceiving so much more than we ever have, for that matter. So I want you to pay attention to that. And I'm going to ask you in this very moment to take a minute just to go ahead and share out our conversation. So I'm going to do the same right now. So there's going to be a moment of silence, so to speak. And I'm sharing the show, letting people know that I'm here. And then I'm going to come back and talk with you some more. So bear with me. All right. All right. So hopefully you had a chance to share the show as well. Let everybody know that I am here. Super excited to be here. So as I was saying, how this magazine came about, how this was what I like to call a thought first, and then a vision first, a thought. I don't know which one comes first, the thought or the vision, but whatever the case is, it's here. And I am in the process, as this magazine has come about, is alive, is ready to be live, is really almost like a twin of the actual book, The Menopausal Portal, which you'll be definitely hearing me speak more about and showing that off as well. But for right now, I really want to put our attention and focus on the Blood Sisters Portal and what it is and who it involves and who's going to get a chance to read it, because it's not just for women, it's also for young girls who's beginning their first bleed. Now, I want to take a sort of like a curve for a moment and really talk about the concept of when we speak about our menstrual cycles, when we speak about the first bleed, when we speak about motherhood, when we speak about midlife, when we speak about perimenopause, when we speak about menopause, everything that sits really in the middle of that really comes from what I like to refer to as the moon cycle. Now, yes, I am speaking about astrology, but astrology is so much more than a predictive reading or anything else. Give me 1 second. Try to figure out why my technology is always so funky. It really is quite interesting. I'm hoping that this is going to be able to move through. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and get this going. So anyway, as mentioned, so when we speak about astrology, it's not just about getting reading, predictions, and all that woo-woo stuff. It really is about, when we talk about the moon cycle, it's about the different phases the moon goes in and how those phases play a big role in regards to our actual menstrual cycle. In fact, I was having a conversation with a young woman the other day in regards to her menstrual cycle, and she was sharing with me that the, the date she got her cycle this past week, and I was sharing with her that her cycle actually um fell in on a Gemini moon, which was just the other day, as currently we are in a Cancer moon. And you might be asking yourself, what is the difference between the two? When we speak about the Gemini moon, Gemini is intellectual, it's communicative, it's speaking, it's learning, it's analytical as well. It's also very intellectualizing. Whereas when we talk about the Cancer moon, the Cancer is home. It's the mama bear. It's the nurturer. It's, I want to put on my furry slippers and my favorite pajamas and get under a cover and just snuggle. And that's the difference between the two energies. So when you do quote unquote bleed in a whatever the moon phase it may be in for you, you want to start to take in consideration what that element is. So currently, if you are experiencing your bleed for today, whether you are experiencing your first bleed where you're a young girl moving into womanhood, or you are a woman in midlife and very fertile, or you are someone in perimenopause who's literally starting to count on your calendar how frequently or infrequently your cycle is showing up, leading into menopause. And that's what the Blood Sisters Portal is about. Now, the Blood Sisters Portal is not just about a magazine. It is really a community. It is a sacred space where women of all ages, again, young women as well, who's just starting their menstrual cycle, just starting to move into that flow, learning to come together to support each other in this journey that we do have. And being in the space where you're going to feel safe enough to have the conversations that you are having and to be able to have conversations that you are having during this time, and learning more and more about your body in the transition of your bleed and how you're nourishing your body in the same process. Excuse me again, I got to check out my wires. Not really sure what the heck is going on. It's so interesting. But anyway, I did want to jump on. I did want to share some information with you because I'm really excited about getting this magazine out and about, getting it into your hands. Now, a big part of why I'm here being very transparent with each and every one of you is for you to become aware of this magazine. I want this magazine in everybody's hands. I want everyone to have an opportunity to really get to experience the first bleed, whether it's your first bleed, your 30th bleed, or you're literally on your way to your last bleed. I really want you to have the space, this community, this sacred space to come together in. So, as I mentioned, besides Blood Sisters Portal being a magazine, we also have a beautiful community on the app called School, where we will all be coming together. There'll be monthly meetings. There'll also be workshops and seminars and so much more, bringing more insight and education to the table. So again, for every woman, because we all bleed. We all bleed. Every one of us bleed. And we may not all bleed with the same flow, but we all bleed. And that's why I think this is so powerful to understand and accept and move through. The menstrual cycle has been given so many different names. Some people call it the curse, some people call it the friend, some people even name their cycle. But it has a big stigma in reference to how we feel about the cycle. And one thing I know to be true is when we have resistance about the cycle showing up, that's going to create resistance in the physical body as well. So again, a part of this magazine, a part of the community is to really get to that space to be more comfortable with your cycle, with your bleed. And even more exciting is to really learn about the actual phase of the moon your cycle falls in, where again, there are 4 elements. We have fire, we have earth, we have air, and we have water. And in with those 4 elements, we have three different zodiac signs for each element. So, for example, as mentioned earlier, when we think about what the current moon's energy is as right now, we are literally in a Cancer moon, which is water. And by tomorrow afternoon, probably about this time, the moon will have moved into Leo, which is fire. And then by the time we move into the next week, we will experience a Earth moon, which is Virgo, and then we will also move into a air moon, which is Libra. So when we think about these different zodiac signs and the difference between them all, so for example, when we speak about an Aries moon, if you have your cycle, whether it's your first bleed or somewhere in between, moving into menopause, an Aries bleed is fire, it's action, it's leadership role. You're literally taking on the role of being a leader when your body is dispelling the blood within the system. The same when we think about a Taurus bleed. Taurus is grounding, it's stability, it's more focus, it's getting connected to the earth. Then we also have, again, a Gemini, which is about being more intellectual. It's about seeing what you can learn about who you are as that young woman or motherhood, especially the bleed after postpartum, which I'll do a whole video on that at a different time. We also have, as mentioned, the Cancer moon. We already know about that mama energy and wanting to just cuddle up with your favorite blanket. We move into the Leo moon. The Leo bleed is all about the freedom seeking, the change, how your body is going through changes at that moment of time. Our Virgo bleed is more about releasing the need to be perfected, releasing the need to be perfect, releasing the need to have to organize, even though theoretically during a Virgo bleed, you may want to organize your space. So this way here, everything can be in a spot and it doesn't irritate you. We talk about the Libra bleed. Libra is about justifying. And you may be in that mindset to justify how your body's feeling, bringing more balance into your body at that moment of time, nurturing your body at that time as well. Our Scorpio bleed is really about the darkest moments. It's going down to the dark side of things and transforming. Because again, every 28 days when you're moving through this bleed, your body is transforming into a different version of yourself. Then we have our Sagittarius bleed. Sagittarius is loud. Sagittarius is freedom speaking. Sagittarius is the truth speaker. So when you are bleeding during that Sagittarius moon, you may find that you're more likely to speak your truths. And it's also very fun as well, free-spirited. We move into our Capricorn bleed. Now, Capricorn bleed, that could be a difficult time because it is an earth energy. However, most Capricorns like to do, constantly on the do. During the Capricorn bleed may be an opportunity for you to sort of quiet yourself down and to nurture you, work on being a better caretaker to yourself as opposed to trying to help everybody else. Then we have our Aquarian moon bleed. The Aquarian moon bleed, I love that one. As when we think about the Aquarian, it is the weirdest. It is the person that's going to step outside the circle and do wild things. And just allowing yourself to be weird, be playful, be eccentric, shall we say. And then last but not least, the Piscean moon bleed. The Piscean moon bleed is very intuitive, very psychic. In fact, you may find that during your bleed, you become even more psychic because of the ritual of the bleed, allowing you to really tap into your spiritual gifts. So now that I've gone on about the 12 zodiac signs and each of its bleeds and how very different every month will be for you as you go through your bleed, I do want to close with the idea of understanding that no matter where you are in your bleed. Again, whether you are a a young girl just getting her cycle for the very first time, moving into womanhood, experiencing that, I encourage you to journal. I encourage you to journal for every bleed, because every bleed is going to be very different. Because we're not just looking at the moon phase that you're bleeding in, but we're also looking at all the other energies are surrounding that moon bleed. So again, if you are just getting that first cycle, moving into womanhood, I congratulate you on this moment of time to honor your sacred body, to honor the moment that when you do have your cycle. Now, if you are in your motherhood years, and perhaps maybe you're getting that bleed after 6 weeks of postpartum, I really want you to move through that transition of how you feel differently in your body, because now you've just gone through that birth and your body is going to feel different for you from that birth and that new transition. And if you were journaling before pregnancy, curious to know if your cycle fell back into the same routine it was on prior to pregnancy. Then we have our midlife women. Our midlife women are usually between the age of mid 40s to about 48, where you're fertile and anything is possible, and you're a group of women are literally very excited when their cycles come, or maybe not so excited, depending on where you are on your journey. Maybe you're looking to become a mom, maybe you're already a mom. So again, this story can go in so many different ways. Our perimenopausal women, you are literally counting your days. How many days have you gone without a bleed? Have you hit that 350, what is it, 365 days of no bleed? And now you're literally what's in called menopause, which, by the way, only lasts one day. You know, we've been programmed and conditioned to believe that menopause is this long, drawn out process, whereas in fact, one day. One day, a moment in time where you go that 365 days of no bleed and you no longer have a bleed. However, you do want to we caution, because from what I've read research is sometimes, even though you've gone that 365 days of no bleed, that somewhere along the line you may unexpectedly get a bleed again. So I think the research is slightly off a little bit. But anyway, if you are counting the days to how many days you have not had a bleed leading into that final day of menopause, track it. But most importantly, track your moon cycle that your bleed is in, because that is really where the excitement comes from. That will really help you to understand who you are each month and how you're learning about who you are. So coming back to full circle moment here with the Blood Sisters Portal magazine, here is my ask, call to action. For anyone, any woman who is interested in contributing to the magazine, you perhaps may have a story about your first bleed. Maybe you have a story about postpartum. Maybe you have a story about your 365 days of no bleed, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, you get a bleed. Or perhaps you're a mama who has what I think they call it the baby of the baby of the menopausal age. There's so many women that I know that really thought they were in menopause, and then to find out that they were pregnant. So there's so much more. So again, I would love to hear from you. I would love to have you be a part of the magazine. Now, currently the magazine will come out 4 times in the course of the year. The first one comes out in June, and then it will be seasonal. So the first one is actually going to be I believe it's our summer issue. And then we will also have our fall issue, winter issue, and then we will have our spring issue. And that's just how it's going to flow, at least for the first year. And then we're going to see how it grows from there. So if you are interested in contributing an article, feel free to email my email, strolling across healingwithin76@gmail.com. And I will be more than happy to sending you all the information to how you can have your article featured in Blood Sisters Portal for the month of June. In addition, I'm also looking for contributors. So if you would like to be what I like to call an elite contributor, or columnist to the magazine, where you actually will commit to the 4 articles over the year, I would love to hear from you as well. Now, you see, as I showed before, and I'm going to move again so you can see it, I'm also looking for cover features. So if you are looking for some visibility and you would love to be on the cover, please go ahead, email healingwithin76@gmail.com. I would really love it if you are going to be contributing to the magazine, that you'd actually be a part of the cover feature as well. There's also opportunities to run business ads, all related to all women things. So if you have a business and you would like to run an ad, I would love to have your business ad in the magazine as well. So I'm just going to change the channel just for a second and also talk a little bit about the Blood Sisters Portal community that is on School. It is a paid group, so if you are interested in attending, joining, I do have a free Facebook group to the Blood Sisters Portal where I post a lot of information, and of course I'll be posting information to when we are going to meet in we'll call it real time on Zoom, which will be part of the paid membership. So if you are interested in being a part of the group, feel free to email me that information as well. You can also just send me a message on Facebook as well, and I would love to have you there. Our meetings will be taking place twice a month, and like I mentioned, we will have workshops, we will have seminars. My goal and mission is to get as many, I'm going to use the word experts, to come on and share their stories with each and every one of you to help you out on your journey. So again, if you are interested in learning more about, to be a part of the sacred community where women come together to support each other, talk about their different stories about their cycles, whether you had an amazing cycle flow or maybe your cycle was just so horrific, whatever the stories are. In addition, I would love for you to keep your eyes and ears open for my book launch for the Menopausal Portal, which is how all this came about anyway. That will be coming about really soon. And I will be sharing more content about the Blood Sisters Portal each week, building this up, and I do need your support. So again, if you or you know someone that is and has wisdom to share and would love to be a part of this magazine, I would love to hear from you. Again, the email is healingwithin76@gmail.com. I'm going to leave you there. I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you real soon. Until we meet again on the other side. Bye bye for now. I'm going to give you a chance to look at the cover one last time. And I'm so excited to introduce you to the June issue, and I'm really excited to have more contributors be a part of it. So keep your eyes, your ears open for more to come. Until we meet again, have an amazing, amazing day. Oops, where we go. All right, until we meet again, bye-bye for now. Blessings to all. Have a blessed night.